Hello class, welcome back to the last week of HBL. Today we'll be looking at chapter 8.2, finding unknown angles in a right-angled triangle. Remember to fill in your notes as you follow through this video guide. Let us first recap. When we have a right-angled triangle with an unknown angle labeled as theta, we will label this side that is opposite to that angle as the opposite side. At the bottom, the side that's next to the angle will be called the adjacent side. And lastly, the longest side is called the hypotenuse of the triangle. So previously in 8.1, we have learned tua kaso. Tua being tangent theta equals to opposite over adjacent. Ka being cosine theta equals to adjacent side over hypotenuse. And lastly, sine theta being the opposite side over the hypotenuse. So in 8.1, we encountered questions where we were given an angle and also a side and asked to find the length of the other side of the right-angled triangle. In this worksheet 8.2, we'll be looking at two given sides to work out what the unknown angle theta is. Do take note, theta is just a way to represent the unknown angle. It can be represented by X, A, or any other symbol. So, to find the unknown angle, first I'll need to make sure that you know how to find the inverse function keys of tangent inverse, cosine inverse, and sine inverse on your calculators. To do so, you have to press Shift and followed by the tangent, cosine, or sine key, depending on what the question requires. So for some of your calculators, you may not have the Shift key. Instead, you will have this symbol here, the second. Alright, so by pressing this, it will bring you to the second function of the sine, cosine, and tangent keys, which is the inverse functions. Okay, if you have any trouble getting this inverse tangent, inverse cosine, or inverse sine keys, please ask your teachers. Okay, let's look at practice 1. For the first question in the first row and first column, when we have tangent theta equals to 8 over 4, we are asked to find what is the unknown angle theta. So to work that out, I will use theta equals to inverse tangent 8 over 4. Alright, press this on your calculator and you will get 63.4349. And lastly, round it off, you should get 63.4 degrees. Do take note that for angles, you are supposed to correct it to one decimal place instead of 3 significant figures. Let's look at another question. This question is in the third row, second column. Square root 2 cosine theta equals to 1. So to work this out, we'll need to bring the square root 2 to the other side first. So when I bring it over, it goes into the denominator. So following this, once I have cosine theta on one side, I'm going to find what my theta is by using inverse cosine, bracket 1 over square root 2. This gives me a very nice number, 45 degrees. Okay, let's go on to the third question. This is in the fourth row, second column. Okay, 1 over sine theta equals to 2. Right now, sine theta is in the denominator, so we need to bring it to the numerator first, and to do so, we'll cross multiply. And this will give us 2 sine theta equals to 1. So sine theta is equals to 1 over 2 when we bring 2 over to the other side. With this, we can now find theta, which is inverse sine half. This will give us 30 degrees. With this, please try to complete the other questions in practice 1.